I'm Rachel Westell, I'm the Marketing Manager for Housekeep. We're the award-winning online booking platform for experienced home cleaners in London. We provide a premium regular service and we offer the same cleaner every time.
Hi, I'm Adam Pikett. I'm the CEO and one of the co-founders of SportPursuit. SportPursuit is the home of great deals on great sports and outdoor brands.
Unlike a lot of other companies, what we do is we kind of mix this human element with this online. So we understand that cleaning that's your home, your valuables, whether you're leaving them with those valuables with your pet sometimes.
Yeah.
It's something that you need to build trust with. So before we book anyone in, we need this initial customer care call and we get information, so where you keep your cleaning equipment. Sometimes people tell us how they'd like their cushions arranged. It comes down to the smallest details, but that's kind of what separates us. We make sure that we customise that service. It's a tailored premium service that, whilst it has the convenience of online booking and payment, and you can skip visits and do all that kind of stuff, add extra services, you can add flowers if you like to your clean, all that kind of stuff can be managed online. It's the human element that we add to it. So we kind of make sure that the customer service team's there and that before anyone's booked in, we have that call with them.
So I guess at the heart of SportPursuit, we sell kit to customers, but really at the heart of what SportPursuit is, we're a data business.
Yeah.
That's what we do. So we process hundreds of millions of lines of data. And we do that in order to understand our customers as closely as possible. And I guess unlike most retailers, we're quite lucky. So most retailers, the first time the customer logs in and you really get to see who that customer is when the customer gets to checkout, which means you lose 95 to 97% of what is actually going on the site.
It's kind of a mix of digital and kind of direct. So digital PPC works well, but it's also the fact that not only does PPC get us the new customers in, but it informs our SEO strategy. So we're able to kind of make sure that we create content for the pages that we want to rank organically alongside our AdWords campaigns. Email marketing, so word of mouth referral campaigns are direct, but also using email marketing to try and spread the word about Housekeep. We also we use social media to relate to customers, to kind of respond to any kind of comments they have. But as I said, it's really kind of focusing on that direct marketing and making sure that the service we provide is delivering, what we've promised.
So we think about marketing in two ways. Okay. So we have existing member marketing, CRM, which is email, and that is our primary source of traffic to the site. And it's a really important part of what we do. We spend a lot of time and effort developing what we do on that side. Then the second half of marketing for us is about new member acquisition. So finding people who haven't heard of SportPursuit yet. And on that side, we use a whole host of other channels. So we'll use Google, we use Facebook, we're testing TV, we also use referral schemes, word of mouth, kind of a whole host of marketing channels to do that. And on that side, what we're looking for, again, it's all about data. So what we're using is we're looking at past performance of members based on where they came from, what kind of campaign it was, in order to understand how much we should pay for them, what they're likely to deliver over a period of time, what their lifetime value is, what the payback is.
Yeah.
It's all very geeky.
No, it's good to test the numbers, definitely.
So we use a lot of data in order to work out where we should spend effectively every next marketing pound.
Yeah.
And on that side, we are able to find lots of little gold mines amongst what is a very vast array of marketing opportunities. But it's all driven by data, fundamentally.
It's an interesting thing to think about because when you work in a startup, you've really got to think about time management.
Yeah.
It's about the resources you have. You're not Nike, you're not McDonald's, you can't spend £30,000 on a social media campaign.
Exactly.
And people are just so overwhelmed, especially on social media, on Facebook. It's so hard for you to get kind of organic reach as a business now, that these promoted posts of competitions and offers, people just tune out because they get so many.
Yeah.
So it's kind of about managing that expectation of, okay, yes, we'll obviously be there for our customers on social media, will obviously kind of, give offers and promotions and things like that. But it's about balancing the time and the resources we have and making sure that we kind of can deliver what we promise.
What we do, slightly counterintuitively, is we ask the customer to sign in the first time they come to the site.
Yeah, I noticed that when I've
Yeah,
tried to
so it's different. It's different. So we ask you to sign in when you first come to the site, and we ask your email address. That allows us to tie your email address together, and allows us to build a profile of you as a customer. And different retailers and different businesses use different ways of doing that. So the most basic option is you just ask a customer, what are you interested in?
Yeah.
But we found pretty early on, if you ask them what they're interested in and then look at what they're interested in, they are not the same.
People lie.
they don't lie. It's just if you were asked a very specific question, you give a very specific answer.
Yeah.
But the truth is not as simple as the answer you give. So what we do is we look at how you use the site to better understand how you consume. And therefore, what we're able to do is we track page impressions, we track the marketing source you came from, we track what you're purchasing, what brands you're looking at, a whole host of different characteristics that are easy for us to see because you're logged in as a customer. And that allows us to effectively create a personalised or increasingly personalised shopping experience for each and every one of our members. So I guess in kind of real world bricks and mortar terms, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get back to being an independent. So when you walk into SportPursuit, the virtual store, you get a personalised experience which is tailored to what you are actually interested in.
Yeah.
We want to use the fewest possible emails that deliver the maximum amount of value. If you're sending someone something that's really relevant and really exciting, an email a day, absolutely fine. If it's not relevant to them, an email a day pretty quickly becomes a pain.
We've got a head of tech who's amazing, who literally automates anything we find ourselves doing on repeat in head office.
Okay.
So,
could you give some examples?
Or? So just certain emails. So if we find ourselves saying something to a customer more than a few times a day, then we automate it. And we figure out processes to just make operational processes a lot quicker. And it's also so that we can keep such a small team in head office.
Keep it lean.
Yeah, exactly. Using kind of cloud-based tools like Stripe and on Fido, and using things like Basecamp and things like that, just to kind of manage the activity. And it also kind of gives the office the ability, regardless of your position or what your job is, it kind of gives us an overview on how the business is running in all aspects. So you kind of know at all times what you're doing, and customer service isn't blindly doing something while marketing is doing another, which you find in a lot of larger businesses. Each housekeeper on the platform has an app that they manage their whole working life through. So they'll have on the app, they open it up, they've got their jobs. And then, as I was saying before, when we take all those special instructions down from the customer, these are fed through to their app. So each time they go to a job, they open their app. It's okay, this is where the job is. These are the instructions. Make sure you do this. Any opening and locking instructions, if they have keys, the key code, so they make sure they take the right key on the day. Things like that. So it's crucial. This is how we kind of communicate with them at all times. It's quite important, and we're launching a consumer app later in the year.
Oh, you are? Okay.
Yeah, it's just at the moment we're really focusing on, as I said, time resource management, and
So for us, our mobile and tablet represents about 70% of our traffic.
Wow. Okay.
So really important, and the reason for that is it's to do with the type of shopping SportPursuit represents. So most people didn't wake up and think, you know what, the first thing we do this morning is go to SportPursuit. But what we do is we try to give them a reason that they want to do that. So we put, as we said earlier, we tailor effectively today's shop, put it in an email, we put it into their inbox. And so effectively we're bringing the shopping experience into their mobile and giving the customer an excuse really to come on. So for us, mornings work well. You are least likely to be otherwise engaged at that point in the day. And so kind of that first thing in the morning works really, really well for us from an email perspective. and the difference is when someone reads the email and when someone buys are not at the same time. We have grown our business in a very mobile generation, and what that means is the site has been built almost from a mobile first perspective. The way we've developed our marketing has always had mobile as an important part of what we do. So I guess for us it's less of a change. But it's very important in terms of how we think about everything we do, because effectively you're carrying that around with you wherever you go, and it is an incredibly powerful tool for talking to customers. So we work with Facebook as an example, and so when we work with Facebook, we'll use things like lookalike targeting, so we can profile our best customers. We can look at what characteristics they have in terms of socio-demographics, in terms of interests and so on, and then we can use lookalike targeting to help us profile for customers like them. And so combining that with then specific ad campaigns that we know work well will allow us to then increase the value we can get.
Evan's background in investment means he's very, very analytical, very methodical, very logical. So everything we kind of look at in numbers. Whilst I'm very branding based, and I kind of love that he balances me out and we kind of work together. So it's about testing what's worked now, and then in a very small kind of sample, and then using that, testing like small variables at once. So we'll only ever test kind of one thing at a time to make sure that the results we get is kind of what we can use to inform strategies later on. It's about things like, so we've been doing a lot of tube campaigns. So testing offers, testing types of flyers, so creative, using imagery, using certain words. It's about making sure that we test one thing at a time. So we'll test the offer, and then we'll do that for a week or two and see how that goes. Yeah, exactly. And seeing which offer brings in regular customers and which offer brings in customers that just want one claim, and they just want a promotion. And it's about making sure that we, reduce the CPA, so we reduce that cost per customer, and we make sure that we do get the customers that we are looking for.
We track page impressions, we track the marketing source you came from, we track what you're purchasing, what brands you're looking at, a whole host of different characteristics. So in terms of what works well for us on the email side is it's all about relevance. So the more relevant the email, the better it does, not surprisingly. And what we're able to do is, I guess the most basic example of that, and other retailers do this, is abandoned basket. Like, the customer has told us they're interested in that product. The odds are that the reason they have not purchased that is not that they were not interested in it, it's in their basket, and it's probably most likely they're busy. And so, as a single most effective form of email, us and lots of other retailers use that. What we do though is we then create a whole host of different engagements that fall from abandoned basket here to a kind of daily sales email that sits here. And we have a whole host of other triggers that we'll use to talk to a customer. The most extreme example of marketing, which is you might perceive to be the hardest to track, so TV. The biggest benefit that we see from TV is on mobile and tablet, because people are using dual screens.
They're watching TV while sitting on their mobile.
Exactly, and that means that we can track the effectiveness of that as a marketing channel. So I think TV is an interesting marketing channel, and if you believe you can test it and attribute it accurately, then it's worth looking at.
I just feel like it's probably...
I can't guarantee whether it's going to work or not, but it's definitely...
I just think for a lot of startups, they might think TV's kind of out of our budget, or just we don't know if we're going to... You can't test results in quite the same way, so I guess it's a bit more of a risk.
It's harder than testing Google, and it's harder than testing Facebook.
Exactly,
but it is, at a point, an interesting channel that lots of startups have looked at.
It's an interesting time at the moment because we're in a high growth phase. So now we've grown to thousands of customers and hundreds of cleaners, and it's getting to the point where we can kind of play around with supply and demand. So opening in new areas, whether that be, you know, reaching people through email marketing or going out and finding cleaners in an area and then matching that with the customers we find there too. So at the moment it's kind of like go, go, go. What we're looking at doing is, obviously we're expanding very quickly, but we would use the same process as we've used in London in those areas. So first of all, we do that consumer research. Like when Evan started Housekeep, he did consumer research of like 1,000 responses that found that, you know, 90% of the consumer spend is in regular cleaning, so we knew to focus on that. It was that people want clean quality, they need trust, they need convenience, so we focus on that. So what we would do is obviously, in each area is different, so we'd go into that area, we'd do the research, possibly there's a lot of customers that come to us at the moment that are out of area.
Yeah.
We have their details and then we will give them an offer or promotion when we open. I think it's also important to connect with the customers we have now and speak to them and reach out to them and say, if you do have any, you know, where we're looking to expand, if you know anyone, you know, your referral will get you this, and kind of push that word of mouth, because that's what built us. And that's kind of what's so important with your home and something so valuable and something so personal.
Yeah, and do you think you'll use social media to do that to make sense?
Yeah, exactly. So trying to email marketing, social media, and then obviously PPC, piggybacked by SEO, to kind of not only get those customers, but we see both sides of the marketplace as customers. So it would be to get the best cleaners in those areas, asking our cleaners for referrals. So that's kind of what we do at the moment in London is all our cleaners will kind of get a bonus when they refer someone.
Okay.
So making sure that we kind of use the network we have to make the most of what we can do when we grow.
Yeah, for us, the real focus is continuing to develop the proposition that we can offer our members. So for us, that really means making the site as easy as possible to browse, making sure that our emails are as relevant and interesting and engaging as possible, making sure that we have the best assortment of brands. If we do those three things, we'll probably keep growing and keep doing pretty well.
I think my tip would be to make sure that whatever you promise you can deliver, first of all. So whether that be kind of being involved in that side with the customer service, sitting down with customer service and seeing the problems that they have and how you can solve that using digital marketing. So whether that be explaining things clearer in your content, in your emails, making it more personalised. It's important to kind of, in a startup in digital marketing especially, because there's no human element and it's all text and it's all how many emails do you get a day. So it's kind of speaking to people that are in your business, but also speaking to those customers and bringing that human element back to digital marketing and saying, okay, if you've got 20 emails in your inbox, which one are you going to open and why are you going to open it? If customers want something or have requested something, it's about making sure we can find out a way to give it to them, whether that be through social media, whether that be through email, or whether that be just on the platform, page content. So things like content creation. Obviously for a startup, it's quite difficult to invest the time in making ebooks and hosting events and things like that big corporations can do. But if you find that you know, so many customers, you're seeing an influx of a demand for a certain information on something, then making sure you create that content and you push that out to them. I think that's really important.
From our side, I think the top tips in terms of online marketing would be make sure that you can track where customers come from. Yeah, that's the single most important thing we did from day one. Secondly, make sure you can understand how much value they are delivering. And then thirdly, make sure you can determine the lifetime value of that customer. So how much value do they deliver from the day they arrive until the day they decay away from your site?